So John Lynch yesterday at the NFL Combine talked about how the 49ers have begun contract extension talks with Brock Purdy, but he also said one other thing that I think got fans kind of trying to decipher what this means, because to everyone's credit, we are at the point of the offseason where that's what you have to do. You got to read between the lines. When these general managers and decision makers and head coaches are talking about potential roster moves, potential contracts, they can't speak in absolutes. And even when you do think something is absolute, things can change in a hurry. And we have seen that not only with the San Francisco 49ers, but with many players and many other teams. So I'm going to play the clip for you so you can hear it in its full context. And I'm going to tell you how I'm kind of interpreting what John Lynch is saying when he says there's no guarantee that we get something done with Brock Purdy. Take a listen. This was a clip from Tracy Sandler right here.
We have started negotiations. We're talking. I won't go into negotiations like always is our stance. I want Brock to be our quarterback as long as we're here and beyond, and we'll leave it at that. I think the final thing, there's no guarantees that we get something done, but my experience has been when both sides are motivated, there's ample opportunity to do so, and we've been able to do that. So,
John, even though...
So again, I really wanted to highlight, because we focused on yesterday on the update with the confirmation that John Lynch had actually had contract talks and that those conversations have begun. We knew that was the case, but it was actually confirmed for the first time. So with this whole situation and the verbiage that he used by basically saying that, you know, there's no guarantee that anything gets done, I kind of find that to be refreshing, because I think it's the truth. I think ultimately when it's all said and done, Brock Purdy will get paid and the 49ers and his reps will be able to figure it out. But as for me personally, who was entrenched in the Brandon Ayuk negotiation, kind of knowing everything that was going on behind the scenes and other high-profile contract negotiations that have been going on with the San Francisco 49ers, I could absolutely say with the utmost certainty that nothing is guaranteed when it comes to these contract negotiations. You never know if a guy's going to be traded, if he's going to be signed, what those conversations look like. And I can guarantee you there is a part of the due diligence of these contract negotiations where the 49ers are trying to figure out, what would someone else pay for Brock? Would they trade for Brock? What would they give up? What does that look like? So I actually find what John Lynch said refreshing, because typically I don't think he would say that. I think they would give you the standard, GM speak, our plan is to have him signed. Our desire is to have him here. We hope that he will be a 49er for a long time. There's always ways that you pay attention to what they say. But the fact that he was just open and upfront about the fact that there is no guarantee that something gets done with Brock Purdy is honestly really refreshing, because as I've said to you guys on this channel, I've told you that I don't think that this will just be a smooth sailing contract negotiation. And I've told you this from the middle of the season on. I told you that I thought there was going to be some twists and turns. And I told you that I thought, hey, you never know. You just never know. And just like John Lynch said, there's no guarantee. Now, that's what they want to do, but it has to be done at the right price. It has to be done at a price that both sides agree to and can feel comfortable moving forward with. And as we saw, Brandon Ayuk almost got traded multiple times. And I think if we're being honest with ourselves and we're really putting ourselves in the business perspective of football, anything can happen. All these players can move. You think of the Luka Doncic trade, like anything can happen. It just takes the right set of circumstances to come to fruition. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Conversations happen all the time behind the scenes, but it doesn't mean something is going to actually happen. And we've seen that, look at the Deebo Samuel situation When he requested a trade, he held out. He still ultimately signed with the team when it looked like he was going to get traded. Look at Jimmy Garoppolo. We thought Jimmy Garoppolo was gone. No, he stuck around. He ended up actually starting the year after he said goodbye to the media. So there's no guarantees. So I think some people are trying to turn that into a situation of like, oh, look, see, John Lynch, does this mean there's, are they not going to pay Brock Purdy? There's a range of outcome that does exist that, yes, they won't. But I think it's a very small percentage. I think it's a really small probability that actually happens where they don't come to terms with Brock Purdy. But to John Lynch's credit, he's absolutely right. He can't guarantee anything because it's not just him. It's not just him at the negotiation table. It's Parag, it's Jed York, it's Kyle Shanahan, and that's just on their side. Don't forget Brock Purdy, what he wants. Don't forget what Brock Purdy's agent and what his agent is looking for. There's 3 layers to this. And when you have that many moving parts, you never know which is going to be the one that either moves something forward or could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. So I don't look at it as a bad thing, because I think what John Lynch did was provide a dose of reality into what these negotiations are and into what the situation is. It's hard, man. It is hard. Like I've said to you guys, like I have been in the weeds with a bunch of kind of high profile negotiations, kind of understanding what is going on in real time, behind the scenes and watching it play out, whether in the media or what have you. And yes, he's 100% right. Nothing is guaranteed. Like there's no guarantee that George Kittle is going to sign an extension. I think every 49er fan wants that. I think every 49er fan would love to keep George Kittle around, but there's no guarantee. I think every 49er fan would love Dre Greenlaw to stick around, but there's absolutely no guarantee that Dre Greenlaw is going to stick around. Because what does Dre Greenlaw want? Does he want to return? Does he want to be a guy with the green dot? Because if so, he can't do that with Fred Warner here. So there's no guarantee. So like I said, like I keep coming back to, all I think and am interpreting this whole John Lynch quote as him being real. Like this was, we talk about the offseason as being smoke season. We have our tinfoil hat. Like we got a whole joke. We have a whole bit about trying to read between the lines of what these decision makers are saying. And I think that was one of the first times that someone genuinely was like, yeah, there's no guarantee it gets done, because there's not. There isn't. There is no guarantee that Brock Purdy is for sure going to be the quarterback. Things can change. Who knows? What if someone came in out of the blue offering X superstar plus first round pick for Brock Purdy? Like they said, they would listen to calls on anything. So there's no guarantee. And rather than trying to spin yourself into this mind loop of is this not no, what John Lynch told you is exactly the truth. This is exactly the truth with any player who's in a contract negotiation, and has been proven to be true many, many times. So rather than freaking out about it, actually take a step back and be like, wow, they actually told us the reality of a situation. They actually kind of let us in kind of to understand that, yeah, there is no guarantees. Doesn't mean that is going to be the most probable range of outcome. It just means it is what it is. And I appreciated that from John Lynch because, like I said, I find that to be extremely true. So with all of that being said, I still am pretty hopeful that the 49ers come to terms with Brock Purdy. They get a deal done and they move forward. But just like John Lynch said, there are no guarantees. And you just got to wait and see. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.